Good morning, guys. Happy Tuesday. I just wanted to share with you guys about the wilderness season. So currently I'm in a wilderness season, and God has had to change my perspective on how I think about the wilderness season. Of course, when you think about the wilderness, you think about the lack. You think about the actual physical needs that you need and not being able to have them. But in the wilderness, I've come to a realization that it's like you're actually out in the wilderness. When you're out in the wilderness, you don't have the normal resources that you think that you would normally have. It just makes you be creative in other ways that you never thought to be creative, because it's almost like you're being forced to be creative in order to survive. And with a lot of us, God has to do that, because otherwise we would never reach our full potential. We would never be super creative. He did call us to create. So for a lot of us, when we are in abundance with our money, we are in abundance with our health, and we're in abundance with a lot of resources that God gives to us on a daily, we typically don't tend to operate in our full capacity. So in the wilderness, I'm learning that He definitely helps you to operate in a capacity in which you never thought that you more than likely could. Two, this season is like a season with manna. Like, you don't have your resources that you need every day, but guess what? Every day that you go out and do what God has called you to do, He will literally provide and drop manna to you as needed. So I'm also learning that whenever I have a thought where I'm like, oh my God, like I need to do this and I don't even have the money for it, I don't have the resources for it, God comes through. And of course, y'all all know God comes in on His own time and not on our time. We may feel He comes so close to the line, but at the end of the day, He comes at the perfect timing. So that's one of the things that I definitely learned during this wilderness season. And also, just being in the wilderness, it also takes a different perspective and a different relationship with God, because when you have abundance of resources, you still rely on God, you talk to God, but there's a different type of relationship and reliance. It's almost like a infant with milk. Like, you have to rely on God. There's no other person, there's no other thing that you could do or use to be able to provide for yourself. So it's also a new time for you to build a new, different type of relationship with God, a closer relationship with God, so that way when you are out of the wilderness, you know, and you can distinctively hear His voice in ways that you never heard before. Because in the wilderness, in order for you to survive, you have to listen to every whisper that God gives you, because it's a gem. It's a way for you to survive and thrive. And of course, when we're out and not in the wilderness season, you may hear God, but you may discard that thought and think, oh, that ain't what He's saying, or you just don't abide by. But in the wilderness, obedience is everything. Obedience is key for you to have a continual relationship with God, and obedience is a thing that you're going to need, because obedience, God rewards obedience. So if He tells you to do something, you do it. You get super sensitive to the obedience that God gives you. But I just wanted to come and share that perspective, those gems with you all, because I'm in a wilderness season, and what I just told you guys has helped me a lot in my wilderness season. I'm not saying that every day I wake up and it's enjoyable, because it's definitely not. But at the end of the day, once I get out of my own feelings and out of my own mind, I know that God literally has me. He provides for me and continues to provide for me. So one of the biggest things I feel like you'll face in the wilderness as well is just more so you and your mental thoughts. It's you, your brain, and your feelings. And I literally, over the last week, have had to tell my feelings to get out the way. Your feelings will lie to you. Your feelings will just have you feeling some type of way. And, you know, I don't feel like I'm 100% back where I need to be, but I made this message of faith to know that God is always with me. God is always with you during whatever season that you're in. But just know that God is with you. He loves you. He loves me. And I just want to come and share that message. But you guys have a great day. And remember, God loves you.